Noam Chomsky was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on 7 of December in 1928. He is son of William Chomsky, a distinguished Ukrainian, born Ashkenazi Jewish scholar who escaped to the United States in 1913. His mother was the Belarusian Elsie Simonovsky. His younger brother, David Eli Chomsky, was born 5 years after him. They were raised in a Jewish environment. They learned Hebrew and to debate the political theories of Zionism. He was married to Carol Swartz Doris from 1949 until her death in 2008. They had 3 children, Aviva, Diane, and Harry. In 2014, he married Valeria Weisman.
Also, he was a political activist. He was characterized by his criticisms of capitalism and the foreign policy of the United States. In 1967, he made his foray into political activism in opposition to the United States' participation in the Vietnam War, winning recognition for his easy the responsibility of intellectuals. Associated with the New Left, he was arrested on several occasions for his anti-war activism. He is probably the most influential linguist of the second half of the 20th century.
He is recognized as one of the main founders of transformational generative grammar. This is a system of linguistic analysis that challenges traditional linguistics and related to philosophy, logic, and physical linguistics. He suggests that language is an innate faculty. It means about universal grammar. Universal grammar is the set of principles, rules, and conditions shared by all languages. This concept constitutes the nucleus of the theory of Chomsky proposed to explain the process of acquisition and use of the language. According to this theory, all human beings naturally acquire any language because they have a universal grammar.
The innate perspective. He argued that children are biologically programmed for language and that language develops in the child in just the same way than other biological functions develop. The environment makes only a basic contribution. In this case, the availability of people who speak to the child, or rather, the child biological endowment, will do the rest. So Chomsky's theory is based on the idea that all children are born with the innate ability to learn any human language. Based on Chomsky's theory, all children have a late or otherwise known as a language acquisition device. The lab job is to encode into a child's brain the major principles of language and grammar, the structure of the language. So he believes once a full theory of competencies developed, the other cognitive abilities and performance will be integrated. So children have a poor ability to learn any human language, and Chomsky demonstrates this in his theory of language development. So according to his theory of universal grammar, Chomsky mentioned that evidently development of language in the individual must involve 3 important factors, that is the genetic endowment, the external data, and the principles. And that means that genetic endowment, which sets limits on the attainable language, thereby making language acquisition possible, in the external data, converted to the experience that selects one or another language within a narrow range. Another way in the principles not specific to faculty of language. So Chomsky believes that children will never acquire the knowledge to process an infinite number of sentences if the language acquisition mechanisms mechanism was dependent on language input alone. So the theory of universal grammar was proposed, suggesting that all children are born with the ability to acquire, develop, and understand grammar regardless of where or how they are raised. Main verb. So
his most important linguistic publications are Syntactic Structures, 1957, Aspects of the Theory of Syntax, 1965, The Sound Pattern of English, 1968, with Maurice Hale, Thought and Language, 1972, The Logical Structure of Linguistic Theory and Reflections on Language, both from 1975. Language and Responsibility, 1979, relates language and politics. Among Chomsky's political writings are American Power and Its New Mandarins, 1969. In 2013, a newly discovered species of bee was named Megachile Chomsky after Noam Chomsky.